Good morning. Good morning. Let me fix my mask. Good morning. Today is Wednesday. This is the 29th day of December. This is the 68th episode of season 2 of the Be Your Own Hero show. Hero is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. In other words, helping others helps you. It's a reciprocal action. I'm your host. I'm Sekouwrites. I am a professional creative and the creator of what we're now calling the Hero Ministry Movement, which is my effort to inspire and empower the unhoused community. So let me do my disclaimers. I am not a personal trainer and I'm not a financial advisor. So do your own due diligence in both categories. If this show serves you, if you get some value from it, please like, please comment, please share, make a donation, buy something from the Hero Store. Check out my website, which is sekouwrites.com. Shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me the space and opportunity to be here and have this platform and talk about my journey of becoming my own hero, both physically and specifically this season 2, financially. So I hope this show gives you some value, gives you some utility. I appreciate the comments. That's very helpful to me. So please comment and let me know if this show is serving you. Okay, so let's jump right into Hero Ministry Movement news. And I'm going to start off with saying hi to the heroes in the chat. So shout out to Tim. Thanks for that cup of coffee. And shout out to Nan. And shout out to all the people, the other heroes who are joining in. Shout out to the heroes who are going to watch this show later and catch the replay. All right, so quick run. Is it going to be quick? It's going to be quick. It's going to be quick. Quick run streak story. So as you know, if you've been watching the show, I've been running at least a mile a day, every single day since the first day of June. Most of that has been outdoors. I've run on a treadmill, I think, 5 times. I have to add it up, but not many times, 4 or 5 times in the entirety of what is now 212 days. Today was day 212. So yesterday, if you watched the show, you saw that I didn't do my morning run on purpose so that I could force myself to do an evening run with Black Men Run last night. So I did that, and I don't know if I'll be able to do that again because the difference in my body and mood having not done my morning run was significant. I knew it would be different, but I didn't expect it to be significant. So I've got to do a morning run regardless now. It's dialed into my DNA. And then maybe I'll do a second run with them later in the day on Tuesdays. So anyway, I went out with them last night. And I'm glad I did because I got a story. So if you've been watching the Be Your Own Hero show for a while, you've heard me tell the story about the first time that I ran with Black Men Run. So you know how the social media algorithm works. And if you don't, basically the way it works is the more things you show interest in, the more the algorithm feeds you what you're interested in. It's a programmable positive feedback loop. It's important for you to know that too. Like, it's not going to show you what you don't want to see. The more you express interest in specific things, the more it shows you that. And it may show you some random other things to see if that catches your attention. But the point is, it's not going to show you the opposite of what you want. If you're interested in cats, it's probably not going to show you dogs. That's the way the program is set up. And I'm about to go off on a tangent. So let me pull myself back. But that algorithm is very fascinating. All right, I'm going to end with this. But in that tangent with this, the more you seek for something, the more you find it. And the computer algorithms around us are programmed to reinforce that. So whatever it is you're seeking, it's just going to give you more of, which means you're always moving in ignorance of the opposite opinion. So it's important for you to know that so that you can seek the opposite opinion, so you can create a more balanced worldview of what's happening. Okay, tangent done, back on track. So I went out with them last night, and I told you the story of the first time I went out with them. I just showed up, and it was it was a brutal day for me. I showed up, and I felt embarrassed by how poorly I performed that day. But I was already working on my mindset, so I did not think about it that way. I kept thinking about the positives. I showed up. I I did my best. I listened to my body. I had a whole list of things that I focused on, and I pushed out the thoughts of not doing so well. But the point is, I couldn't keep up with them, and I ended up sitting on the steps of a bank, some random bank, to catch my breath, and then I went back to the start line. And they were so fast that they were back at the start line by the time I got back, even though I didn't do the full loop. So last night was great for me because it was kind of a redemption of sorts. This was the first time I'd run with them since I've been back in Nashville, and we started off running. And not only did I stay with the group, but also it rained while we started running. It started drizzling like the first couple blocks, and then it was a torrential downpour. And I mentioned the fact that most of my runs have been outdoors because essentially I have practiced running through inclement weather. I have practiced, not on purpose, but I've practiced running through rain, through sleet, through snow, what have you, whatever the outdoor conditions are, I've practiced running through those conditions. So when there was a torrential downpour, I did a couple of things automatically because I've learned from past experience. I need to do those things, but it did not deter me at all. And so at the end of the run, much of which was uphill, the other men in the group who were there gave me props for how much I've grown as a runner since the last time they saw me run. And that was a great redemption story. It's a great full circle moment. And the point of me telling this story, and I said this in my run report on social media, is you can compound your own personal interest just by not quitting, just by staying in something, just showing up every day. Because for me, again, this is day 212 of my run streak, but I don't always feel like I'm getting better. I just feel like I'm not letting myself quit. I'm not letting myself not do the work. But apparently, as measured by other people, I am getting better. I'm getting faster. I'm getting, more consistent in my higher efforts. I don't know how to quite put that into words, but I know that it was very gratifying to be with that group and to do much better than I had done that first day. So I can track my own growth. And matter of fact, one of the brothers last night mentioned my first day and how that was and how I had to sit down and come back to the start line. But now here I am, right behind him the whole way. And so anyway, I just really appreciate, for me, being able to see the growth. And I invite you to do the same. Choose something. It doesn't have to be running, but choose something that you're going to show up for every day. And I promise you, even though you don't feel like you're getting better, you will be getting better. So choose something. Okay. I know that was a little bit long. I went off on a tangent a little bit. So let me pick up the pace a little bit. So just a reminder, I have been invited to be on a podcast. I was trying to catch the name of it. The podcast is Let's Talk 1943. Let's Talk 1943. That will be on January 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 6 p.m. Central. So mark your calendars. That's coming up. I'm excited about this because I've been a guest on a number of podcasts, but this is the first time, I believe, that I've been the guest on a podcast talking about abundance and finance and money. So as you can see right there, that's my podcast, my second podcast, Get Rich 101. I've been invited to be on this podcast to talk about abundance. So very excited about that. And yes, I am doing a financial seminar. I really don't know what to call it, but let me stick with the word that resonates the best for me, an abundance seminar. I'm doing my first abundance seminar in January. It will be after the 16th for sure, because I want to be able to announce it on that podcast. So stay tuned. I got some ideas percolating and I'm getting excited about it. I feel like some things are falling into place now that I've announced that intention. So stay tuned. It's coming. It's coming. And thanks to those of you that said that you're interested already. I appreciate that. Okay. So, all right. I think that's it for the news. Yeah. So let's talk about my morning zen. So today's morning zen comes to us from a couple different places actually, but this is Zig Ziglar again. This Zig Ziglar is a motivational speaker and author from a couple generations ago. Very popular, very great story, but I'm not going to get into the story because I've already used my sidebar. I've already used my tangent pass. So let me stay on point. So this is what he says today. And again, I use the daily devotionals differently than most people. Most people read the day that they're supposed to read. Like if it's December 29th, they'll go and look for December 29th. I don't necessarily do that. I kind of skip around based on how the Spirit is leading me. So this is not the reading for December 29th, but this is what I read from Zig Ziglar's daily devotional today. Okay. Many people have dreams of wealth, popularity, power, and ease. But there's another kind of dream that's even more powerful and far more fulfilling. Finding and following God's dream for our lives. Finding and following God's dream for our lives. Finding and following God's dream for our lives. So if you've been watching Sit with Rev. Melissa, you've heard her talk a lot about God's vision for your life as opposed to your vision for your life. And I have adopted that and run with it because the idea is no matter what you can conceive for yourself, no matter how big your dreams are, God's dream for your life is way bigger, is way bigger. Getting the download. I think I'm gonna have to speak to this. So there are similarities in running and God's vision for your life that are occurring to me right now. So yesterday's run that I just talked about, Black Men Run, there were a couple things that I did that I learned how to do by running every day. And one of those things is to ride the momentum. So running uphill is difficult for sure. Right? First of all, psychologically it's difficult. You got to run uphill. So I have some strategies for running uphill. So that's one thing. But the other thing is once you've crested the hill and you go down the other side, you get that gravitational pull of momentum. And what most of us do, runners or not runners, what most of us do is we fight that pull of momentum because it's too fast. We feel out of control. And so we start pulling back to control our pace as we run downhill. And what I've learned, what I've practiced is leaning into the momentum, letting the momentum carry me, which is a little scary because it's kind of like riding a skateboard downhill or riding skates downhill. Like it gets really fast because that gravity is pulling you. The momentum is pulling you. So it's almost like you've given yourself over to gravity. If you do it all the way, you've given yourself over to gravity. You've given yourself over to momentum, and that's scary. But if you practice, you can manage yourself physically so that you don't feel like you're in peril. Why did I just talk about that? Because that's what God's vision of your life feels like. It feels like this gravitational pull that's bigger than you, that's faster than you. You feel like you're moving too fast. And I can speak to this clearly and specifically because this whole hero ministry movement feels like that. It feels like gravity. It feels like momentum. It's like I want to slow down. There's been so many times when I want to slow this whole thing down. Like, wait, this is moving too fast. This is moving too fast. But that is how you know that you're in God's vision for your life as opposed to your vision for your life. Your vision for your life, you're going to feel like you're running uphill a little bit. You're focused. You're putting one foot in front of the other. You've got a vision, and you're moving towards it that requires effort. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that when you're in God's vision for your life, it's the opposite feeling. It's like, woo, woo, this is moving fast. And you'll know it when you're in it because that's what it feels like. Yeah. Yeah. So that's another lesson from running that I just put together just now. Okay. So hold on to that. That was Zig Ziglar. I'm just going to say it again so that we can all remember it. Many people have dreams of wealth, popularity, power, and ease. But there's another kind of dream that's even more powerful and far more fulfilling. Finding and following God's dream for our lives. So take that with you. Okay, so that was the morning Zen. It's just after 10 o'clock. So just to reset the room, I am Sekouwrites. I am hosting season 2 of, I almost said the podcast, season 2 of the Be Your Own Hero show. And often we talk about my podcast, Get Rich 101. Check it out if you haven't already. The show is now a half hour. So we started at 9:45 a.m. as opposed to 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you missed anything, you can watch the replay. You can watch the replay on New Thought Media Network, which is the sponsor for the show. So you can check them out on Facebook and on YouTube. And you can also watch all of the previous episodes on my Facebook and my YouTube. This, again, is episode 68 of season 2. Not total, 68 episodes just of season 2. So there's a lot of binge watching you can do if you choose to do that. Okay, so let's move on into some abundance. All right, so here's our affirmation. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. I couldn't get the affirmation off for a second. All right, so let me just check the comments before we move any further. All right, shout out to Margareta. Thanks for checking in. Shout out to Nan for this comment. Your tangent is very important. Very important. Part of why we become so polarized is because people don't listen or see different points of view. Yes, and I am saying that it is intentional. The positive feedback loops are loops in which you surround yourself with the same opinions. Most of us don't do this on purpose, but that's what happens. And the algorithm of social media is designed to do that. So if you're like, I hate paper towels. I hate paper towels. And you constantly post and look for content about hating paper towels. The algorithm will give you more of that, and it won't show you the people who are like, hey, I love paper towels. And you won't be able to generate a balanced, knowledgeable worldview. So you have to actively seek opposite opinions to disrupt the algorithm. Okay, I'm back on abundance. So abundance, reminder. I'm gonna do this one every day because people keep asking me to repeat it. And it's simple. And I think the reason we have trouble remembering it is because it pushes against what we've learned. So reminder, poor people spend, the middle class saves, but the wealthy invest. Poor people spend, the middle class saves, but the wealthy invest. So the idea being, if you are spending and saving, you need to be investing. It is not optional. It has been presented as optional our whole lives. It is not. It is necessary. Even if you only want to retain the value of the money you have socked away somewhere, you need to be investing. And investing, do I want to say this? Yeah, investing is not the tools that have been promoted to you to invest. It's not the tools that you already know about. Because what I've discovered in doing this work and going down these rabbit holes is that the best information about what to do with your money is hidden. Hidden is not easy to find. And you have to actively seek it out. The information that is handed to you on a silver platter about money is not what you need to be paying attention to. So the things that you've heard about, IRAs, 401ks, pension plans, those are not the tools that you need to be using if you really want wealth. So take all those with a grain of salt and really take a hard look at them. And I have some homework regarding that in a minute. We'll come back to it. Anyway, I recently talked about high income skills, my discovery of this concept of high income skills. And this has really shifted my mindset again. And by the way, mindset is a word that I use a lot. Before I started using it a lot, I heard it a lot, but I never really knew what it meant. So for me, the way I'm defining mindset is responding to the same circumstances in a new way, responding to the same information in a new way. So thinking about how high income skills has shifted my mindset yet again to reprioritize the things that I can do, the talents that I have, in a way that monetize them more efficiently. So the skills are old. I've had the skills for some odd years, but thinking about them as tools to be able to earn $100 per hour or more, $10,000 per month or more, $100,000 a year or more is really mind-boggling. Like that is a mind-boggling shift, and I'm working on that shift. Anyway, I talked about high income skills recently, and that led us to the wealth triangle, which for the purposes of my own financial growth, I'm changing. I'm changing. The wealth triangle is great, it's fantastic, but for me, I am condensing the triangle into the highway. This is the wealth highway. Just two things. Two things. First side of the highway is maximizing high income skills to scale income up rapidly. And the other side of the highway is using those funds to invest in high yield assets with the ROI, which is rate of return on investment of at least 10% or around 10%. So for me, again, I'm condensing the wealth triangle into the wealth highway. Just two things: maximizing high income skills to make money quickly, and then investing that new income into high yield assets. So that's me. I need to trademark or copyright or something. That my thing is the wealth highway. Okay. So if you've got some high income skills, you can do the same thing. First of all, you do have high income skills. This happened to me yet again. I was talking to a friend of mine this week, and he was talking about feeling pinched financially and trying to figure out what to do. And in the course of what he was talking about, I was like, wait, you know how to do that? That thing you just said? He was like, what are you talking about? And then we traced back the conversation, and he had a ridiculously high income skill built into what he was saying that he never even considered a high income skill. Like, it's something a lot of people would pay a lot of money to learn how to do. And he didn't even think about it. Like, I've had a conversation with this man about high income skills before, and he made a list of his high income skills. This thing that he mentioned in happenstance wasn't even on the list. Oh, my alarm's going off. The one that he just talked about wasn't even on the list, and it is by far his biggest high income skill. So this is really about self-inventory. It's about self-assessment. If you have not already, please Google high income skills. Look at some of the lists that are generated and start to think about what yours are, because not all the high income skills are going to be listed. It's essentially, again, something that you can do separate from a job where you can get paid at least $100 an hour. Like, let's keep it that simple. You can get paid at least $100 an hour to do this specific thing independently, right? And I know that you have high income skills, because so far everyone I've talked to about this conversation, had this conversation with, offline has come up with a high income skill. And just to reiterate, the friend that I was just talking about didn't even think of this as a high income skill, and it is a ridiculously high income skill. So stay tuned. I'm trying to get him involved in the wealth seminar so he can tell you himself about his high income skill that he didn't even realize was a high income skill. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, Google it, figure out your high income skills, and then apply the wealth highway. So I guess where I wanted to go with that, because I know I went off on a bit of a tangent. I just wanted to make sure that we are taking stock of our own skill set and leveraging it to the best of our ability. Because again, this idea is like finding buried treasure in your own house. Like you're looking out there for where's the money? Where's the money? How can I get some more money? But meanwhile, you've got these talents, these skills already in you that you can leverage to change your life. So that's it. Okay. So anyway, none of that was really what I wanted to talk about. I was moving up to the fact that the wealth triangle was created by Dan Lok, who is a multimillionaire. His net worth, I believe, is $140 million. That's a significant net worth. He started from pretty much nothing. He taught himself copywriting with the help of a mentor. He used that high income skill to become a consultant, which is another high income skill. And then he taught himself how to close, which is a third high income skill. He teaches other people how to close now. That's his main thing. But he used those three high income skills to create what is now a $140 million empire, which is significant. I started reading one of his books, and even though I'm out of time, I just want to give you one concept from his book. I'll keep talking about it. One concept from his book is I'm trying to figure out a different way to put it, but I'll just say it the way he said it. What's your freedom number? You need to know what your freedom number is. And by freedom number, I mean the number that you need to have enough money to do whatever it is that you want. Not just, I want to be rich, not just, I want to be a millionaire, a specific number. And let's make it a monthly number because that'll help you drill down. What number per month do you need to feel financially independent, like you don't need to do any more than that? Okay, do that. So this is the homework. Figure out what your freedom number is. Back to the IRAs, 401ks, etc. Look to find out what your fees are. Or don't look, just call the people. You already own this asset. Just call them. Ask them what your fees are. And ask if it's compound or simple. If the fee is compound or simple. So those are the two pieces of homework. Figure out what your freedom number is. And if you have an investment tool that's government created, like the IRA, 401k, pension, find out what your fees are. That's it. Okay, I'm out of time. I got a couple more things I want to say. I'll roll those over to tomorrow. Stay tuned for prayer time coming up right now at 10:15. Check out Sit with Rev Melissa coming up at 10:30. Reminder, she is on winter solstice. We are replaying the Prayer of Jabez series, which is the very first series that she had on the New Thought Media Network. So that said, keep doing, be a hero, be your own hero. Remember that now is better than perfect. I will check the comments. I see there's some comments. I will check the comments as soon as the show closes, and I'll roll those comments into tomorrow. All right. I'll see you mañana. Later.